my computer froze for about 10 minutes out of the blue. So, yeah, that's good. Yeah, keep doing that. I appreciate it. Okay. Okay. So this is part 4. This is requested by Muhammed. He donated to the channel. And so, if you donate to the channel, throw out some requests, I'll do them. Your requests go right to the top. I think that's fair. So, let's get into it. If it wants to start, I don't know. It's been really bothering me right now. Let's keep doing this. I love it. Appreciate it.
So, Zayd ibn Amr ibn Nufayl, as we said, he continued upon this religion, and he died 5 years before the Prophet ﷺ began preaching Tawheed. 5 years. His son, Sa'id ibn Zayd, is one of the companions that unfortunately we as Muslims don't know much about, even though we should, because Sa'id ibn Zayd is one of the 10 who were promised Jannah. This is one of the big names, but unfortunately we don't know much about him, meaning this society, not that we don't know from the books. Sa'id ibn Zayd was one of the 10 who are Ashara Mubashara. This is his son. So one day he said, "O Messenger of Allah, you know my father, you remember my father, and you remember what he was upon. What will be his fate in the akhirah? You can tell me." He's loving, he wants to know, "Ya Rasulullah, what's going to be the fate of my father in the akhirah?" So the Prophet ﷺ said, "He will be resurrected on the day of judgment, his own ummah." He is a one-man ummah, without any prophet, because he was such a pious person. And when he went back from Isra wal Mi'raj, you know the famous journey, we're going to talk about that, he said to Sa'id ibn Zayd, I entered Jannah and I saw your father, Allah had blessed him with not one but 2 gardens. So this shows us that even before the coming of Islam, people managed to enter Jannah because they rejected idolatry. Because their fitrah, their innate nature told them that something is wrong. So Zayd ibn Amr ibn Nufayl is a one-man ummah. This is a trivia question. Which ummah is there without any prophet? And we say the ummah of Zayd ibn Amr ibn Nufayl. Okay? This is an ummah which is a one-man ummah without any prophet. Now this shows us the status of the Arabs. How about the status outside of Arabia? We've already mentioned that the Roman Empire was upon Christianity, and the Sassanid Empire or the Persian Empire was upon Zoroastrianism. And Zoroastrians, of course, they have the concept of the god of fire and the god of darkness, Ahura Mazda and Ahriman. So they have a perpetual fire that is lit and they worship that. So the Zoroastrians are, from the Islamic perspective, a type of idolatry, a type of paganism. How about the Christianity of Rome? Well, again, to make a long story short, this is a whole interesting thing in and of itself. After Allah Azza wa Jal raised the Prophet Isa alayhi salam, we can say that there were, within 30-40 years, there were 3 major strands of Christianity. 3 major understandings of Christianity. The first type is called Gnosticism, which we're not going to talk about. It's a completely philosophized understanding. Gnosticism, it's a very mystical understanding. And they pretty much eliminated, there's really no Gnostic Christians anymore. The 2 major groups of Christians, the first of them are called Jewish Christians. This is the name that academics give. Jewish Christians. And the second, some people call them Pauline Christians, following Paul, right? So there were Jewish Christians and there were Pauline Christians. Jewish Christians, they believed, amongst other things, that they are Jews, that they have to follow the law of Musa, that they have a sharia, kosher and kashrut and all of these laws, that they have to be circumcised and eat dhabiha or kosher meat and basically be practicing Jews, and that Jesus Christ was sent to the Jews, and that He was the promised Messiah. I.e., this is exactly what we believe. It's exactly what we believe. right? Now, Paul, who was never an actual disciple, he claimed to be a disciple, he claimed to see Jesus Christ in his vision. Paul was the one who began a whole new theology. What is this theology? Jesus Christ has elements of divinity. He's not just a man, he's a superman, some type of divinity. Jesus Christ came to destroy the law, or to obliterate the law, or not destroy is not a good word, they wouldn't agree with that. Jesus Christ came to make the law unfunctional. He came to replace the law. If you believe in Jesus Christ, there is no Sharia. And there, the whole question of circumcision is discussed in the New Testament. So he said, you don't have to circumcise. You don't have to do the Sharia anymore. And then he began some elements of the Trinity. He began this and that. So this is called Pauline Christianity. For 300 years, Christians debated over what is the meaning of Christianity. What is Jesus Christ? Is he a prophet? Is he a God? Is he a son of God? What are the Bible? What is this and that? Until finally, and the Romans, initially, the Romans were a pagan religion, right? They had the god Jupiter and they had this. The Romans were the worst enemies of the Christians. And there are these stories that they would find Christians and throw them to the lion pits, and they would, the Emperor Nero burnt Christians alive. He made the whole city of Rome burning, alight by Christian bodies. He would light a Christian for the light bulb of the city. So these were evil people, and Christians were martyrs, and they were persecuted. So for 200-300 years, Christians were martyrs, until a miracle happened. There were probably around 3-4% Christians of the Roman Empire, until a miracle happened from their perspective, and that is, the emperor converted to Christianity. Now the equivalent would be in our times if the President of the United States converted to Islam. Because we are around 5-6%. And Christians were around 5. Well, some say he's already a Muslim, but we're not getting into that theory, okay? Mr. Hussein Sahab, we're not going to talk about him. But the equivalent would literally be, you're a minority religion, you're a 5% religion.
This is 2011, so he's talking about Obama. And Obama was a Muslim who converted to Christianity, and I think he's still a Christian. Very well could have converted back. Could have lied about it and still been a Muslim. Some of these religious beliefs in a president doesn't matter to me, but it matters to a whole lot of other people.
Religion, and then the emperor converts to your religion. This is what happened with Christianity, right? Constantine was the first convert of the Roman Empire to Christianity, the first emperor, to convert to Christianity. Now, Constantine isn't just some Joe on the street, he's the emperor. So he's not going to have these bickerings going on, so he convenes a whole council. All you Christians who are fighting, come, let's have a dialogue. And let's figure out what Christianity is. And then he wanted a certain version of Christianity. We're just zooming this quickly through because he's a pagan from before, so he wants a little bit of a paganistic element of Christianity. And so from that we get the 25th of December, we get the concept of halos, we get the concept of a Trinity, we get this, we get the Son of God, because they had a Son of God in Mithra. All of this is, all of this comes from Constantine's decision in 325 in the city of Nicaea, which is now in Turkey. He held a council called the Council of Nicaea. In 325 CE, Constantine decrees official Christianity is basically Pauline Christianity.
That is amazingly interesting. Because I've always wondered how that stuff came about, and there's a lot of stories. But yeah, you put the council together and the Trinity and the halo and all this. It's very interesting. Kind of wish I would have. Where was he when I had the discussion with the 61-year-old religious guy? Because he would have chimed in, and I would have just sat there like this. Just been listening.
Other Christians, we're going to do to you what our ancestors did to the other Christians. We're going to burn you, persecute you, kill you. So there was a massive outflux, an immigration, a hijrah of original Christians to other lands. right? And this is why it is said that some of them came to the Najashi's kingdom, and so the Najashi's kingdom had more Jewish Christians than others. Others went to Iran, and so Salman Al Farsi, so we're going to come to, is there. But the Roman Empire officially banished Jewish Christianity. And there was no such thing as Jewish Christianity officially in the Roman Empire. So Pauline Christianity then became the standard. From Pauline, we got the Orthodox, the Catholic, the Protestant, and that's basically 99.9% of Christians. The original others, they're all completely gone. Now, this is in 325. The Prophet ﷺ is born 570, 250 years before. So we have remnants, little bit of references that some of the original Christianity was saved. And the most interesting story we have is that of Salman Al Farsi. Salman Al Farsi, his story is a very long story. It's narrated in Muslim Imam Ahmed, and it is authentic. We'll summarize it, and I want all of you to read his story in the books of Seerah in more detail, because it's simple. It's you don't need you can understand it as it is. I'll summarize the main points. Salman Al Farsi was the son of the priest in Iran, in Persia. And his father was the one who kept the fire. Zoroastrians, they have to keep the fire lit 24/7. It's not allowed for the fire to be turned off. And even when they build a new temple, they have to import an ever-lit fire. They cannot just light a match and put it there. No. They have to take the fire because they believe it's eternal. They believe it's an eternal fire. So any new temple that they build, they have to take a fire from another temple that's already been burning, and then they bring it to the new temple. So I asked one of them, what did you do in America when you built your first temple? I mean, where'd you get the fire from? They said, we got a special plane. We commissioned a fire to be brought from one of our temples in the plane. Because we're not allowed to just light a match and put the... I'm going to my tangents. Let me stop here, get back to the story. Okay, Salman Al Farsi. Salman Al Farsi, what was his story? Salman Al Farsi was the son of the firekeeper. So his father taught him how to keep the fire going and whatnot. So he would go and take care.
Taught him how to keep the fire going. All right, son. You got to remember this. It's very important. You see that wood? Yes, I do. Pick it up. Okay? Put it on the fire. Lesson learned. Well, what happens when we run out of wood? You see that sharp axe over there? Yeah. See that dead tree? Uh-huh. Use your imagination. Oh, man. Can somebody else do it? Nope. It's all you.
Of the fire and come back home. That's his job. They are priests of the fire. They're priests of the Zoroastrian, or the Majus as we call them. And they're called in Urdu Parsis because when Islam came and conquered them, they ran away to India, and because they were from Persia, they were called Parsis. So Parsi means from Persia. But anyway, I again digress. Let me get back here. So Salman Al Farsi would go to the fire and keep on lighting it up. He said, and he's narrating the story himself, he said on the way there, on the road there, there was a monk who had his small monastery. You know, the monks had a little cave, they have a monastery, and he would be worshipping, singing his hymns, praying all day and all night. And it intrigued me that this person has a different religion. And I passed by every day and I'd listen to his hymns, I'd listen to his chantings. So, and it was mesmerizing. And it attracted me. So one day I had the guts to basically go and ask him, can you tell me about your religion? And so the monk began to preach Christianity to Salman Al Farsi. And slowly but surely, Salman Al Farsi realized that what he's doing is idolatry, and what the monk has is a version of Tawheed and worship Allah and whatnot. So he became attracted to Christianity and he secretly converted. He secretly converted. When his father found out, his father locked him up with chains, prevented him from leaving the house, tortured him, because he's the priest. How can your own son convert to... So it's a big matter of shame. And attempted to exterminate him. So Salman Al Farsi managed to escape from his own house and run away to Syria, which is the land of Christianity. And the monk had already told... The monk had been executed because he converted the son of the priest, so they killed the monk. But the monk had told him that go to such and such a monastery and you will find people of my thought, my inclination. Don't go to any other monastery. So we know that this monk was not upon Pauline Christianity, because he's telling him, don't go to the capital, don't go to Rome, go to this particular monastery. I'll tell you which one. This is where I come from, and you go there. So Salman Al Farsi went there, and then, to make a long story short, every time he went, he became the disciple, the main disciple of the monk, and the monk taught him how to worship. He remained a Christian. When each one died, he would tell him to go to another one. And this happened 4 times. When each one died, he would say, okay, now you go to this guy. So he went to that guy. When he came to the 4th one, you can imagine he's probably around 70, 80 years old now. Salman Al Farsi has these legends that he lived for 300 years. Once again, we understand there's a little bit of legends. Maybe he lived up till 100, 115. Something. He was the longest, the oldest of the Sahaba in Medina. And he was a very old man when he accepted Islam. So when the fourth one is about to die, listen to what he says. He says, my companions who sent you eventually all over to me, my group of people, I don't know anybody remaining upon that understanding of Christianity. We're all gone now. This was the group that we had, but I don't know anybody left upon our understanding of Christianity. But you have come to a time when the promised one is about to come. We know this now. This is a version of Christianity which is not Pauline. So they have knowledge that is not found in the New Testament. Because one thing Constantine did, and this is really sad, but it's destroyed Christian history, he chose the 4 books that are not a part of the New Testament. And he burnt all the other books that opposed his theology. All the Jewish Christian books, the books of the Bible that we have, right? There's the 4 famous books. Constantine chose them because they affirmed his belief. And all the other works and writings were burnt in front of his presence. So we don't have references in magic. And that's why, again, let me just tell you, when the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered, some of these people were actually Jewish Christians. And that's why it was such a big find, that some groups were hiding in the caves of Qumran in Jordan. The Dead Sea Scrolls, you've heard of them maybe. When they were discovered, these were some remnants of Messianic Jews, which people thought were never there. And they were living pre-Jesus Christ. So they're waiting for Jesus Christ to come. So they have some knowledge. And some of them, it is said they accepted. So again, all of that is theory now where people are deciphering it through. Point being, we don't have access to what beliefs they had. But Salman Al Farsi tells us in an authentic hadith that they told him 3 things. What did they tell him? They said, you're just about to come to the time when the man that Jesus Christ predicted is about to come. We know it, the signs have been met. What are these signs? We don't know. But these people knew. So they're telling Salman, the signs have all come. And his time is just around the corner. So he told Salman, my advice to you is you go seek this man out. Go seek this prophet out. How? Where am I going to go? I will tell you 3 signs. I will tell you 3 signs. Number 1, he shall appear in a land that is full of dates. First sign. Go to the land that is known for dates. Number 2, he will have a physical mark on his back. In Arabic we call khatim, the khatim or the seal of the prophecy. I'll talk about this inshallah later on. But it's a physical mound of hair, they say. And some say it's even a little bit of a protrusion of the skin, the size of a pigeon's egg, this small, very small, even smaller than this, right? It's a physical protrusion with beautiful colored hair, multicolored hair. It's been described, not just black, multicolored hair coming from between the shoulder blades of the Prophet ﷺ. It's a physical seal on his back. This is the second sign. Number 3, he said that this man will accept gifts, but he's never going to accept charity. He will accept gifts, but he will never accept charity. To this day in our fiqh, you cannot give charity to Al Muhammed. You cannot give charity to the descendants of the Prophet. To this day, it's not allowed. So, Salman asked, his sheikh died, his teacher died. This is the 4th sheikh now from his house. So we can imagine, he's already probably around 50 years old at this time.
We're going to go ahead and stop it here for a nice water break. So, am I understanding that they're saying Jesus predicted the next prophet, which is Muhammad? That's what I'm picking up. Or no. Or they wait, yes. Or they were waiting for Jesus, but I've never heard about Jesus in a birthmark or like a hair. Yep. We'll just agree. Okay, I'm going to end this one here. This is part 4. Part 5 will come up next. I got a thanks button. You can donate to the channel. If you do donate, give me some requests. They'll go right to the top. And if you don't want to donate, no force. I get it. Times are tough. Or you just want to keep your money. I completely understand. It's free to subscribe if you haven't. And almost 70% of the people who watch these videos aren't subscribed, so just subscribe anyways, because this is the type of content that I'm doing now. That's where the requests go. And give it a thumbs up. If you give a thumbs down, bad things will happen to you. You know, I've heard stories. So you don't want that bad luck. You know. And I've had too much tea. So I'm going to run to the bathroom. But until next time, have a good day, have a good night.